Alrighty, Melina. So this is your first time working with Team Hired as well as working with myself. So I would love to know what you enjoyed most about this go around with Team Hired.
It was a complete like every single time we had like even that first time that we had the meeting with you, we were like, why didn't we do this sooner? Like
Yeah.
you were so amazing. We loved how you were like you made it seem like you were part of the agency, not so much like part of like the whole hiring process, right? Like you were like, oh yeah, like I'm in insurance too. Like I do this. And so we really enjoyed you just made the experience that much better, like 1,000 times, like hands down. You were
Oh,
amazing.
well, I super appreciate that. And, even though I'm kind of on this side of the insurance spectrum, I have a lot of experience and knowledge. I've worked with so many agents all across the country, and that's really what I strive for. And I feel like the way that I conduct the interviews is how I get the best results for you guys and for any other
Mm-hmm.
agent that I may work with. So I'm super happy and really thrilled that you guys enjoyed working alongside me. And I'm happy that we were able to yield the results that we did in such a short time
Yes.
frame before Q1, which is super exciting. So that's what kind of leads me to my next question. What have your results been thus far with Team Hired? We had 2 weeks, and how many hires did we ultimately end up possibly getting?
So ultimately three so far, and hopefully getting those two more like today.
That is
So
amazing. Two
yeah.
weeks, possibly 5 hires. That is a
Hmm.
success story if I've ever heard it. So that's
Yeah.
awesome. What did you guys like most about the whole virtual interview process that we implement?
It's just very like it sounds very cutthroat in the beginning. Like when you mentioned it, we were like, oh, like just like that, you just cut people off. But it makes sense. Like we're here to run a business and we're gonna, make it as easy as possible. And if, you know, we need to move on, then we need to move on. Like it's very simple. So
Right.
we really like that process.
I'm glad you like it. And because, I mean, it is the vetting process. So I think that's kind of why I take on the attitude I do, not only with my clients, but also with the candidates. This is kind of an awkward space for
Hmm.
you guys as well as the candidates. So I want to try to make it as kind of lighthearted as I possibly can, because it is kind of cutthroat when it gets down to it. We want to make sure we save
Yeah.
time and we put those in front of you that we know can actually handle the position. So
Hmm.
I'm glad that you really loved it. Would you recommend a colleague to Team Hired?
Definitely.
Ah, amazing.
Yes.
And if you ever think of anybody, I'm always here. I will be more than happy to respond to any emails. If you want to give them my cell phone number, I'm always open to any referrals. So if you think of anybody,
Awesome. Yeah.
think of me.
Yeah. I
And
mean, even like the candidates that came through and did like second interviews, they all raved about you. They're like,
oh,
and Monique, she was amazing. Like everyone talked about how great you
oh,
were.
makes my heart flutter. So sweet. And I mean, and I think that's the part that I enjoy most about my job is that even though we're trying to set your agency up for success, we're meeting with all these people, some make it, some don't. If at the end of the day, I think it never gets old for me to see how happy I can make people with this is their livelihoods, right? They're looking for a
Hmm.
job, they're looking for a career. And if I can just touch one person and make them smile, I think that my job was well done. So I really,
Yes.
really appreciate that. So I know you kind of touched on it, but of course I wouldn't be here if it weren't for Team Hired. So what would you say your experience was like working with me?
Again, like amazing. Like there is definitely no words. Like we had a
Oh,
great experience for it being the first time. Like obviously we didn't know what to expect,
hmm,
and going through it, like even that first time we were like so nervous and we're sitting there waiting to see what's going to happen, and you just kind of like just took on with it and went with it, and it was great.
I love it. And see, now you're not rookies to this thing. So whenever you guys come back, you guys are fully aware of what to expect. It's
Yeah.
going to be so much fun. And lastly, I know we kind of touched on it with Team Hire, but would you recommend me as the account manager for any other agent that comes on board with
Of
Team Hire?
course. Yes, yes, yes. 100 out of 100.
I
Yeah.
love it. Well, you guys are amazing. I hate that our journey was short lived. It seems like the
I
ones that I love the most,
know.
I knock them out the park, and I'm like, dang, I got you done in 2 weeks already.
I know. And we were thinking, oh, we probably won't finish till like what we said, February,
Yeah,
March, and look at us now.
all wrapped up, my friends. And that I said that's a good problem to have. 5 hires in 2 weeks is
Yes.
amazing. So I'm going to go ahead and stop